there's not enough. For example, I feel like men are not held accountable for a lot of things. I feel like men don't have enough people like in their community, in their circles, like, because again, like, you have broken men creating broken women, and then now they're with other, they're starting new relationships, and
Broken
that's an
families.
issue. And it's like, yeah, creating broken families. I think that there needs to be a reset within men. Honestly,
I will agree with you,
because
but that's on both sides of the fence.
I agree, but I'm just saying, why as a woman do I have these trust issues? Because it came from maybe my father. It probably came from my past.
And your father was raised by a mother.
Right.
He wasn't raised by his father?
And why was his father not there? Let's talk about that, though, because
maybe the mother alienated him out of her life.
Really
and you're talking to a man.
Oh, man, I knew you were going to say that.
No,
and
because
I don't never get to finish my point. Let me just say my point. Because you hear these other statistics like, oh, all of these men, 80% of men that are incarcerated were raised in single mother homes. Well, where were the fathers? And why were these men creating these crimes? And even if you weren't with the mother, why weren't you present in your child's life? Why couldn't you be the person that could talk sense into your son? So while we're always trying to say, oh, the single mother this, the single mother that, what is it? Is it that our men are the weakest? Because
no, let me go a step further for you, right? I'll be vulnerable and reveal a little bit about my past. So my father lived on the first floor of my building, and I lived on the second floor. Never knew that was my dad. Found out when I was 14 that was my father.
So whose fault is that? Right? I want to know that.
Let me finish.
No, first I want to know that.
Wait, let me finish.
Need all the facts of the story.
Let me finish, right? Probably about a week later, he saw me in the lobby. He said, "So you know?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Okay." And it was, right back to business, right? Never really said anything to me after that. Now, as I grew and I became a man and I matured and I had children, you know what it taught me? I didn't have resentment towards my dad. What it made me realize is, damn, I wonder what my dad went through in his life. Let me finish. That didn't allow him to be the type of man that could show me love and raise me, right? This is what y'all forget about. Men are human. Y'all have this thing. No, because when y'all have the, and I see it all the time. When a woman kills a man, oh my God, what he put her through, right? Like, y'all have so much sensitivity and empathy for the fact that women are human and they go through things and they have traumas, but that's totally absent when it comes to men. I'm sorry, yes, there are fathers that left home because they're deadbeats. There are fathers who had trauma, who it didn't begin with them. And there are fathers who were alienated. But I hate this narrative that every time it's a negative thing about a man, we think to the worst. Men are human.
No, I said we need community for men, because this is an issue that doesn't stop, and the numbers are high.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. The numbers are high. That's why
But guess what? But just as much as men are the reason, women are too, because a lot of fathers are alienated out of the home. You are looking at a man who was alienated from his child's life for God knows how long, and I fought for it. You understand what I mean? So what I'm telling you is we are both at fault. And as long as we keep pointing fingers, I don't think anything's going to be solved. I think what we need to do.
Not what she's saying, though.
I didn't say that at all.
Wait, just hear what I'm saying. I think what we need to do is men need to focus on improving themselves. Yes. Women need to focus on improving them. The community of men needs to focus on making their brother better, and the community of women needs to focus on making their sister better, right? Because that's not what occurs, right? When the conversation occurs, it's this. It's the girl, yes, you chose yourself, right? No, but it's, how about but girl, how could you have been a better woman? How could you have handled this better?
Conversations as well, and we do.
We literally
that.
just
and
said
we literally
that.
are raising these men on a lot of times.
I literally just said
fathers. Yeah, do you know what strength that takes?
No, and it takes community. And I did say I commend you. I commend you because, and let me tell you the sad thing. When I heard you say that, you know what? I thought that you are the exception, because that is not the majority. That's the reality. And you know that.
That's why Here's the issue with them talking about trying to hold men accountable. It's because these women on these panels, we just gotta call it for what it is. These are some complete dumbasses, right? Because here's the thing, right? They're just being very disingenuous about what they're talking about. And they're just trying to gaslight and push a narrative out there that does not exist, because they understand it doesn't exist because they see it every single day. They understand it doesn't exist because they sit here and watch Red Pill. They know know about red pill. So they know red pill holds men accountable as well. We hold men accountable. O'Shea Du Jackson is holding Anton Daniels accountable, and we all come from the same place. So it's almost like, why do these women insist on lying and insist on pushing a narrative that can easily be debunked, right? I mean, here's a great example. We have Kevin Samuels. How did he get his start, people? Can y'all literally seriously tell me, how did Kevin Samuels get his start? Oh, he got to start with doing the cologne and all of that stuff. And then what did he do? He started to hold men accountable. I mean, he has many viral clips. So let's go ahead and just show at least one.
You come in and say black women have been my enemy. You're going to have to give me a specific.
Okay.
Letting you go, man. I'm trying to.
I recently dated a woman who was pursuing a dual doctorate degree in medicine and in chemistry.
I'm a PhD.
Throughout the entire relationship, the only time that we didn't have an argument or we didn't have any kind of ridiculous back and forth is when we were having sex. You know what I'm saying? Like once the orgasm was out the window.
How old are you?
28.
And how long did you
28.
date?
I've known her for 8 years, dated her for 1.
And you dated her to what end? What was the intended outcome? To what end? Yeah. Dating has a purpose.
I was interested in marrying her.
You dated her with
sure.
Okay. And what do you do for a living?
I'm a musician and an Uber driver.
What?
I know.
Are you serious? Are you trolling me? Ninja,
no,
what?
I'm not.
Ninja, what? You're dating. Your enemy is your pocketbook.
I know.
Don't come here and talk about black women as your man. See? I mean, are you being serious, bro?
I am, but the finances is definitely something that I'm working on.
Hell no. A black woman who's you actually came in here to tell me that you dated a black woman who's pursuing 2 dual doctorates.
I'm a PhD.
And you're a goddamn Uber driver and you're a musician. That's not a problem, except you frame black women as your enemy. And your enemy is your inability to be productive on a serious level.
That's not currently true for me.
Well, here's the thing. I talked about what makes black women different on an evolutionary biological scale than any other group of women. You could not say that. I asked you about the decrease in the divorce rates over $250,000 for a couple. You didn't know about that. You said from your anecdotal experience, but unless you make that, your anecdotal experience has been respect yours.
But yet, guess who were the main haters of his channel, right? The main one who was holding black men accountable. It was black women. The only issue that they had with Kevin Samuels was that he was holding black women accountable. So he said, okay, well, hey, y'all men definitely need some changes, but it's the women who are the worst ones, right? So he started to hold women accountable. Now, all of a sudden, he's toxic. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's this, that, and the third. Why would you want to have that as a wife? Why would you want to have that as a partner, right? But guess what? He sat here and he held these women accountable and held men accountable. Women didn't have an issue when he was holding men accountable. They just only had an issue the second he started to hold women accountable. Myron Gaines, y'all can talk smack about Fresh and Fit and Myron Gaines as much as you want, but if I'm not mistaken, he be having certain segments throughout the day where he is just literally coaching up men. He's even going hard on certain men, right? But yet, once again, these women swear up and down, we don't hold each other accountable. If you are a man and you don't pay child support, guess what happens, right? Pay child support for a child we already know most men want to take care of their children. So you're paying child support for a child you want to take care of anyway, right? So if you don't take care of that child, what happens, man? You go to jail, right? So not only do they send you a notice to hold you accountable for the first time, they're going to really hold you accountable by taking you to jail. Now, the question is, are women held accountable if they can't take care of their children? No, they can't. They're not, right? They're not. A great example is that chick man from Detroit who sat here and left her children in the car to freeze to death, right? And now all of a sudden, hey, well, the father needs to go to the jail because he should have taken the kids off her hands. What happened if he's in the same situation? What happened if once again, he probably can't take care of the kids, but we're going to shift all of the blame to the man instead of keep it on to the woman who sat here and who allowed her kids to pass while the children is sitting in their car.
Over the past 24 hours, questions have been raised about why the family didn't get help. During a press conference today, Mayor Mike Duggan revealed that family called the city in November, but nothing was done.
They said it was carbon monoxide. Or I don't know what it is. There's so many stories going around. I haven't even got the right story for my own kids. But one thing I do know is they could never be cold in that car. Because I keep gas in that car. I do what I got to do to keep them kids with heat.
I don't know about all that.
And you just sit here and just look at the whole comment section full of black women blaming the father, the black woman this. They're not holding that sister accountable, right? Here's another example. You have Phylicia Rashad, right? Because since Kevin Samuels isn't good enough, you would think that an older woman would be good enough. But here comes Phylicia Rashad, right? She even called it. Man, listen, I know, like, I don't want to ruffle any sister's feathers. Y'all are some beautiful women. Was still on point with it, was still respectful with it. But yet, black women still made a video about Phylicia Rashad because she simply said, y'all sisters.
A lot of different women that is having this conversation online saying that they don't agree with the older generation, specifically a person like Phylicia Rashad, saying something like that and that they should respect themselves. This is what they have to say.
Why is it that anytime older women try to give game to younger women, it always circles back to being about a man? No disrespect to Phylicia Rashad. I respect that lady. I think she's beautiful. She's talented. She's everything. But she is a pick-me also. I already peeped the game when she was riding for Bill Cosby. I don't feel like getting into all of that. But she was on the Breakfast Club and she was talking about the way that women dress today. Now, she's entitled to her opinion. That's totally fine. And I was okay with the message until she said, and most importantly, no man wants a woman that dresses whatever way they were talking about. Why is that the most important element when it comes to how a woman is dressing? And why don't people understand that not all women date men? There are some women that don't date men. There are a lot of women out here that have opted out of dating entirely and don't care about what a man want to see her in. Why does everything older women say always have to go back to a man? I don't understand that. They need to reprogram their minds. They need to reprogram their minds. Like, it's 2025. We work too hard to have autonomy, to always have to be connected to what a man likes and what a man doesn't like. If y'all constantly keep saying, oh, men don't like when women dress like this, men don't like when women wear their hair like this, wear lashes, wear makeup, this or whatever, and the woman is still doing those things that a man doesn't want, wouldn't that tell you that we don't fucking care? Coco and Ice-T, she dress however she wants to dress. She do whatever she want to do.
Coco and Ice-T. Let's continue.
He's been married to her for how long? There are plenty of men that don't be getting in women's business like that. They don't care about policing women and trying to control a woman's every move. Y'all be the ones who try to control everything y'all women do because y'all are insecure and y'all care about the public's perception of you. And like I said, I would be totally fine with the message if she kept it about the women and themselves. But to constantly always have to bring something back to a man, it's crazy.
They don't like us. They hate themselves, and they're taking it out on us. And they don't like us, family. I don't know when y'all gonna realize that y'all keep trying to make them okay and trying to simp out for them and trying to convince them to come back into the community and back to the congregation. They don't respect Phylicia Rashad. She just called Phylicia. Right after she said that she respect her, she called her a pick-me. She called Phylicia Rashad. So they're saying that it's crazy to care about the person that is providing protection and covering for you. The person that is supposed to, you benefit off of their greatness, especially when it comes to you being the beneficiary of the things that he done and the sacrifices that he made.
No accountability. This is why you're starting to hear accountability for Black women is a kryptonite. I mean, so like, once again, all of this stuff that these women are just pulling out their crack is just parroted talking points that really has no substance, and they're just trying to push a narrative so they can try to make Black men look bad. When once again we hold men accountable. Even your fathers who don't take care of their children, what do other men say? I can't be no friend, I can't be friends with no deadbeat. But you don't never really hear women say, I can't be friends with no bitter baby mama. And we have a bunch of those in the Black community. We have a bunch of bitter baby mamas in the sisterhood. So we've always held men accountable. Even when we hold men accountable, your sisters won't say nothing. It's just the second you start holding sisters accountable, you start holding everybody accountable, it becomes an issue. Even though women are the main ones who are behind sex liberation, even though women are the main ones who initiate most of the divorce, and they are the main reason why marriage rates are low. But yet somehow, some way, they don't want to take no accountability for that. Let's continue.
You know that.
But I mean, I still feel as though with everything that I've gone through and everything that the choices that I've made, I feel as though there still is a lack of men being held accountable for certain things. And I wish that men were working together more to hold their brothers accountable.
All men are held accountable.
I don't think so.
If all men are held accountable.
Again, the clip said the women came over as a community. They helped their pack. Right. But in the very, very beginning, the man said, hey, I spoke to him. And I said, you are just experiencing cold feet. You made a choice to be with this woman. That was him holding him accountable. And you saw that. That was his.
Oh, I don't know which one you're talking about. I'm sorry.
The man.
The guy that was in the corner of the video.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
I was rolling my eyes. I was probably like.
There was something in your eye at the time.
Yeah, I was just like, what? I didn't want to hear it. So maybe that's my fault.
I'm saying that was him holding him accountable right in front of you. Like right in front of you.
But the thing is that, and I think you and I, we had like a conversation about this. The point that Jada is trying to make is that as a general matter, men do not have commune with each other, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Then we wouldn't have the numbers and the issues that we have in our community, which goes back to now us women being the issue because we're so annoyed and aggravated. We're bringing our trauma to the next man every time.
You may mean the right commune,
yes.
but we do have
that I can agree. Maybe not the right commune.
So the thing is that we're talking this both sexes shit. So what I'm saying is comparable to what I'm applying to men. So like I said, men are not in commune. You might know your home. Do you know your homeboys' kids' ages?
Yes, I can agree that men don't have enough. They're not surrounded by enough positive influences.
Yes,
that I can agree because
I'm not saying just hanging out, going playing basketball, going doing whatever. I'm saying like.
When I go to my church, I visit churches all the time. And just even in general, I'm not saying people have to go to church, but I'm saying people have to seek like everything that you should know about life. I personally feel as though is in the Bible. Well, but when I go to church, I don't see as many men seeking those things. No, I'm just, because men, you guys are taking it too deep. I'm not saying you have to believe in Jesus Christ now. I'm saying just knowing, there's Proverbs, just knowing how to be a good person to others, just knowing how to be a person that gives, that takes care of children, that takes care of the elderly, that doesn't lie, that doesn't steal. Those things are in the Bible. Men, I'm not saying just out of a religious aspect. I'm saying go back to learning how to be a better person, and it starts probably in the church for some people.
Men do hold church.
Which only women are at.
Men do hold church amongst themselves, right? Every man has maybe a small circle of friends that they speak to every morning, right? Like it might be one or two friends that 3 or 4 times out the week that they speak to. Now the question is, what are they talking about? Exactly. That is the question. And I would agree that men don't have enough men who are speaking things of substance, right? Who are positive influences in their life. Do men commune? Definitely. But they commune about maybe because, you know what I mean? But they definitely do commune.
So I'm not saying men don't hang out, which I guess...
No, it's not even really, hang out.
No, what I'm saying is like commune, again, we're talking about parallel things. If we're going to say, oh, it's men and women's fault, fine. But if we're going to say commune the same way as far as women commune, men should be doing the same thing.
We do.
No, we're not... We're not just hanging out.
No, I'm not talking about hang out. I'm not talking about hang out. What I'm saying is like we have to be, if we're trying to resolve an issue, we have to be specific, right? Because people jump on the defensive. When you go, men don't commune, they're going to go, but we do get together. No, so you have to say, I understand that you do commune, but what are you guys talking about, right? Are you guys talking about things that are going to that are focused on your betterment? Are you guys just focused on financial growth, or are you focused on emotional and spiritual growth? Do you guys speak about things like that? Because I can tell you, I have friends that I'm surrounded by that I speak to 3 or 4 times a week, right? When we speak in the morning,
You're also a good man that
No,
you went through everything that you went through. You persevered through it. You did the work. What we're saying is there's a lot of men that are out there alone that don't know where to go. They don't have the community. They don't have a man like you to say, "Oh, I'm about to go into the hood today and go preach to not preach, but go speak to the younger generation that are leaning out."
Yes,
off of
because
drugs,
because
whatever.
I have a friend of mine. He's married, right? He's married. He has 2 kids, and he tells me he said, "I know you hate when I say this." He said, "But bro, you're the reason I'm married." He said the man that I was before, I would have never entertained this. He said, "But you're the one that made me understand that infidelity made me weak. It didn't make me strong." I was surrounded by people who made me feel that the more women I slept with defined me as more of a man, right? But I used to tell him, "But bruh, if you have a woman, then you're good." It doesn't make sense. You understand? You made a commitment. If that's the case, then be brave enough to be transparent and tell her that this is what you want to do. And he's like, "Yeah, but I don't want to lose her." I'm like, "Okay, then if you don't want to lose her, protect what you value." And once again, men commune, but what are they talking about when they commune? That's the thing, right?
And when are they talking about it? Are we talking about it at the very end, like once we've already committed the sin? Or are we talking about it in the beginning to prevent the sin?
Yeah.
So
there's a story on that too, guys.
Right.
Samson.
End of the day,
Men don't commune.
Thank you.
I don't agree, but I get where you're coming from.
Yes, do you hang out? Yeah, but I'm talking about I'm talking about actually, I mean, and I can't speak for anybody else except for the people who I commune with.
Yeah.
But I have friends when I want the honest truth, I go to them. I have friends when I need the reaction that I was gonna perform.
Validation.
No. I call this, am I tripping?
Yeah.
Or am I doing too much?
Yeah.
Right? If I don't, if I already know it's cool, I don't need validation.
Checking the temperature, right?
Right. Even when I'll give you a perfect example. Something happened with my brother and my sister-in-law. Them. And I literally called my line sister to ask her, I love both of them. I want to be involved, but I don't. And I also don't want to mess up relationships. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, what do I do in this situation? And I went to her because I've known her forever. She knows my brother. She knows a lot of things that have gone on in our lives. She also knows, she has a lot of the background, right? And so I wanted to, before I just acted and did what makes sense to me, I was like, let me see what she say. Somebody is gonna, you always have a friend that's gonna tell you back, or you're gonna have a friend that's gonna, and they'll, even though they're looking at the situation and they know you, they're gonna give you that honest truth about whether what you're deciding or what you think you want to do, whether it's decent or not, So it's just hard for me to say that. Long story short, I think that's what men need and don't necessarily always have, because there's also a level of comfort. This might be your best friend for the last 20 years, but there are some things that they still don't know about you. You know what I mean? And there's whether it's embarrassment, whether it's for whatever reason, they don't know that about you. So I think with women, because that's how we generally, be in situations with each other, I think that women are vomit at the mouth. You know what I'm saying? The friends know everything, so I think that does help you, help us hold each other accountable. But I also don't think that men share a lot of that, deep whatever.
You know what I pulled from what you just said? And it kind of shed a light for me, something that I never really thought about. I think that men are not surrounded by enough men that they respect. I think a lot of times a man's community are guys that he parties with, guys he makes money with, but it's not necessarily people that he respects. And men, we're designed differently once again, and we operate differently. And I think it goes back to the shame factor, right? If we're around guys that we can't respect, we will do the most lowly of things and not really care what they think.
I was just gonna say that.
You know, and I think that may be the issue. I think, especially in this day and time, a lot of the circles and communities that people build around them aren't genuine, aren't sincere. People are hanging out with people that they know, I can't even count on this person. You understand? So even when that person gives you advice, you don't even know if it's coming from a genuine place.
I'm be honest. I say anybody that's like my real, like, down for my niggas, you know, like them type friends, that's somebody I can call right now and ask for $10,000.
Yeah. And you know, and
bro, even if they broke.
And for me, I was just about to say, and for me, it's not even just about the 10,000. It's about the person that you can call and say, I'm in a jam, and they can go, and they're gonna go, I ain't got 10,000, but I got 200. You can take. You know what I mean?
And that's literally the exact point that I'm making.
Right.
Like, I borrowed some money, matter of fact, from my line sister, because I know she got some separate money too. You know, and I was like, hey, I'm waiting on some like X amount. I was waiting on one of my deals to close. And I was like, but I don't know what I needed to hold me over. She's like, well, I ain't got 10, but I can float you 5.
Yeah.
I just feel like anybody, because she didn't give me the whole 10 now.
Yeah.
So same
She
thing.
gave you what she could.
No, and that's what I'm saying.
They got your
like,
money. There's real friends.
That's who I.
Is anybody that didn't want to give to you?
Depending on
even if they had 5 of them, like, I ain't got 10.
Yeah.
I don't got it.
Exactly. And so that's what I'm saying. I think that, and it's, I don't know if it's a fair barometer or not, but anybody that I can call and ask for money, like a large sum of money, I think those are the people who are really down for me, because like you said, baby, I ain't got 10, but I got a couple hundred for you. You know what I mean? Again, I don't know how whatever y'all's barometer is for friends, but that is mine.
But I think it's a big deal what you said too about respect, because I think a lot of times people don't respect. With men, you don't respect a man's opinion. So if you guys are doing something together, you're not gonna say, well, for example, let's just say if you know your friend has a good woman at home, and you know he's about to go out and make a bad decision and sleep with someone that he probably shouldn't be sleeping with. It's kind of like, are they speaking up, or are they just like, oh, whatever, like, you know.
What would y'all say most men do?
Most men are just gonna let it rock. Or if you're around someone,
what would y'all say most men do?
If you're around someone and they know that you don't cheat on your wife, or they know that you are a person that has stand-up character,
they ain't gonna do it around
you. They're gonna be on their best behavior. And so that's what's not happening in our.
You know why that's not necessarily the case? Because unfortunately, society is preaching something different, and the man who is faithful, the man is looked at as a weirdo. No, listen, and I'm being totally honest with you. I'm being totally honest with you. And at the end of the day, he's fighting the current. He's fighting.
People understand these are the same women that will sit here and defend a bot for being a bot. These are the same women that will sit here and say, well, why does her being a 304 really bother you? Just go find somebody that's good for you. But you constantly so you're just essentially just ignoring this piss poor behavior. It's going to keep growing. It's going to keep being rampant, and black men are going to have to deal with it. Men in general are going to have to deal with it, because there's going to be way too many women who are on OF, who are part of sex liberation, who are this, who are that. These are the same type of women that will sit here and say, well, why are you trying to hold a woman accountable? Why don't you hold a man accountable for leaving the household when they already know the woman is the issue? These are the type of women that would defend that kind of behavior. So like I said, we shouldn't be surprised that they're saying what they are saying. There's a reason why your black women have the stereotypes that they have, because loud, ratchet, ghetto, and here's the biggest one, right, that fits this whole argument in this video. They are rebellious. They've always rebelled against a man's authority. Since the 1960s, they allow feminists to come into the household and tell black women, hey, look, you don't need that black man. You can go ahead and do it yourself, yada, yada, yada. So that's first time that the black woman gave up on black men. Right. And then the second time was the 1980s, where they said, hey, well, listen, we would prefer the government assistance over the black men. Black women have always been rebellious. Black women have always been freaking rebellious. But yeah, you want to sit here and talk about men don't know how to hold each other accountable. We hold each other accountable. But when you sit here and you see how your friends and how your sisters act at clubs, at stores, and they're all in a group, there's a reason why a man will tell you, hey, you don't want to talk to a girl? while she's with her friends because they don't know how to hold each other accountable. You go over there, man, they're gonna sit over here and tell her all types of damn things, man, that's going to pretty much ruin something that's good for her. So you would need to catch her by herself. Why do you think you have a saying that, hey, well, listen, you know, you, like y'all women have piss poor friends and they keep you single? Understand, I'm gonna say this one more time. There's a reason why they say single women keep women single. You don't ever hear that saying for a man because no man is gonna keep a woman single. No man is gonna keep another man single. No man is gonna give another man advice because we actually hold each other accountable. And there are plenty of men who will tell their homeboys, hey, you don't wanna marry this girl. Hey, you don't wanna do this. Hey, you don't wanna do that. But it's only women who wanna sit here and try to gaslight and try to lie and push a narrative. And it's just sad. We need somebody like Tommy Sotomayor to go against a lot of these women. But you know they're not gonna ever bring him up there because he's going to give too many points. Now they're gonna say, well, you know, he's controversial, he's this, he's that. But let's just keep it being. He would tear those out the frame on that damn panel. And yes, I'm calling that because once again, it's just the false narratives and the lying that this woman is trying to push. It is just baffling. But let's continue.
The current and he's still out there like, yo, bro, like, what are you guys doing? But he's drowned out by a sea of, yo, look at this dude.
No.
He out here.
But doesn't that go back to respect though?
So it does go back to respect. But what I'm also telling you is the problem is society as a whole, right? We've created this narrative, right? Oh, whore shaming. Everybody has the right to do as they please, right? So at the end of the day, it's like, bro, why are you minding my business?
Do you give into that?
And this is what we've created. We've created a society where every and anything is okay. This is what we've created.
It's true. It is true.
This is what we've created. And we have to take accountability and be responsible for the fact that we've created a very self-centered society. Just like she said, I did what was best for me. And guess what that man's going to tell you? Bro, I'm doing what's best for me. And there's no rebuttal to that because this is what society has taught us is what it's supposed to be. So the truth is, the same people you want to go into the fight is the same people you've disarmed. I think it's a man's nature to want multiple women to a degree, but I will also, I think it's a boy's nature, right? Because the truth is, look, human beings evolve. Just because that's what it was 1,000 years ago doesn't mean that's necessarily what it needs to be now, right? There's evolution. And at the end of the day, I always say a king with no discipline is a weak man with luxuries. A man without discipline is not a man.
You had that in one of your shows, didn't you?
That in a shirt. Yeah. That was in your. I'm gonna put that on a shirt.
Harlem?
I wrote that in. I don't remember which.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
You know, and that's a king without discipline is nothing but a weak man with luxuries.
Ooh. I mean, I totally agree. And the thing is that that's also, I also think that 100% applies to women.
Of course.
You know, but again, we always go back to like.
But women aren't held to discipline anymore.
I think that
might be right
because everything a woman does is okay. A woman can literally sleep with a man's brother, and they're gonna go, "Oh, you mad?"
But I also think that I think it's the same case for both sexes personally.
No, it's not. Because they're going to say that man is a piece of shit. And they're going to say she got her lick back. That's what they're going to say.
No. I'm saying, what I'm saying is that I think your issue with it, I think it applies to both sexes.
No, I think it definitely applies. But what I'm saying is I don't think society holds both sexes accountable anymore. I think men are held accountable. And men are looked at as trash. Listen.
I think what happened in that situation is Betty was at home rotting for 10 years and her man was outside making 10 children.
Thank you.
And so now women have come to this point where it's just like, no
This is what I'm going to tell
That's
you.
what happened.
Right?
Betty's are tired.
There is a bar set. There is a bar set for what it means to be a man. Right? Mm-hmm. If they say, what is it to be a man? They're going to say provide, protect. If you say, what is it to be a woman? There is no bar. A woman cannot cook or clean. She cannot nurture, she's still considered a man. Because that is the reality. That is what society has created. There is no bar set anymore. Because you know what they're going to, if a man goes, she doesn't cook or clean. Oh, you're a misogynist. She's not your slave. That's what they're going to.
What men are saying is they can buy everything and that they'd rather go to another country and buy their cheap wife.
We're going to
because they don't want to be good men.
If we're going to be totally honest, there is no longer a bar set for a woman. You know, I had a conversation.
I've never heard that.
I had a conversation not too long ago, right? Where I said, you know, why are there no responsibilities that is the woman and the woman's only, right? For instance, why is there no responsibility that you take pride in? And what I mean by that is, if we go out on a first date and you attempt to pay, I'm offended.
Why?
Because that is my role. That is my job, right?
People don't feel that way.
But wait.
Yeah, you're from a different generation.
Hold on. Most men, let's be honest. Let's be honest. We're not going to talk about the exception. We're not going to treat the exception like it's the rule, right? There are responsibilities that are mine and mine only, right? Whether it's paying the majority of the bills, taking out the garbage, whatever it is. But guess what? I can cook, I can clean, I can take care of the kids, I can babysit. You won't be offended by me doing any of this. Any. Why are there no responsibilities that you take pride in?
I think there are.
Yeah, I think so.
I think there are.
But that's your experience, though, because in my household, I am the one that does the cooking and the cleaning. So that's your experience.
But if he cooked,
my man has never, ever had to touch the stove.
But if he did, would you be offended?
I would be like, get out of my kitchen. What are you doing?
You'd be like shocked. You'd be like, what you doing?
Yeah,
Would
why
you
would
feel
do
like
that?
less of a woman if he did?
I don't think he would feel like less of a man if I paid for one of his dinners either, though. So I think it's just like the
truth is, it's to the point where there was a word created for it. It's called emasculation.
So, I mean, look, guys, enough of me talking. Let's go ahead and read some of these comments, right? Because the comments are a lot better. Now, somebody says, she keeps interrupting him. Then somebody else says, it amazes me how women can speak for all women, but men can only speak for their personal situation. People, that's women for you. That's what they were doing throughout the whole show. That's what they were doing throughout the whole show. And it's so funny that they will sit here and say, if it's an individual experience, or if you like, let's just say if you come up to a woman and you say, man, most men don't want a woman that's yada, yada, yada. These type of women will sit here and say, no, you can't really speak for all women. You can't speak for all men, this, that, and the third. No, not all men want a woman who is, who isn't promiscuous. Not all men want this, not all men. These women will sit here, well, dude, okay, we get, man, that this woman is a better baby mama, but understand not all of us are. We don't even advocate for that. But yet, let something happen to a woman on TikTok. Let a woman say a story, right? Let a woman make up a story and watch how all of the women come to her dang platform and they all, oh yeah, facts, yes, sis, I understand. And then all of a sudden, hey, well, I'm speaking for all women. Man, I'm speaking for all women. These women don't care. This is the issue that we have with our sisterhood. Because they get upset when we compare them to children, but yet they do childlike shit. They get upset when we compare them to children, but yet they have a brain of a 5-year-old, right? But the body of a grown woman. This is sad. So then somebody else says, I love the fact that most women believe that they know how to be better men, but clueless with other women. Then somebody else says, he was cooking at the end. Talk. He's always cooking, right? Then somebody else says, she's eager for men to be held accountable for the pain they caused her. Yet she simultaneously acknowledged that this same pain has become emotional baggage that she has carried into new relationships, right? Once again, guys, the woman that's sitting over here really going against this man, contesting this man, she has a childlike mindset, if you ask me. She has a childlike mindset. She will sit here and try to argue and say she doesn't, but we see the type, man, you're pushing all types of false narratives that can easily be debunked. And you're just, once again, but you're just steady pushing it because this is just a woman's rhetoric. This is a woman's response to men just holding other men accountable. Men actually just being on top. Let's just give it a bean. He then goes on to say, what she fails to consider, however, is the collateral damage she inflicts on the well-intentioned men who have tried to support her. While she demands accountability from others, she feels justified in her own actions, demonstrating a lack of awareness. Well, that's most of your sisterhood. They lack awareness, all types of self-awareness. Then he goes on to say, instead of taking responsibility for her role in perpetuating a dysfunctional cycle, she displaces blame onto her ex. This pattern of deflecting responsibility and carrying unresolved trauma from one's relationship to the next continues because she has not faced any significant consequences for her actions, allowing the cycle to remain unbroken. Absolute cinema, bro. Absolute cinema down. He could not have put it any better. And this is the issue because she's not the only one, right? When you have somebody who says something like that, your woman will immediately say, well, see, no, you're only talking about a select few women. No, you're only talking about a certain person. No, you're not talking about all women. You can't speak for all women. But in the same breath, we'll turn around and try to make it seem as if all women are angels. We'll be speaking for all women as if they are all angels, as if they all live the same life that she is trying to make it out to be. Oh, no, you're wrong. I'm not dysfunctional. No, I'm not this, I'm not that. Most of your sisters are like these type of sisters, right? Where they have all of these emotional baggage, all of this emotional trauma, and just because they're just children in general, right? They come with all of this stuff, but yet they act like they don't see that they have that. They only make men have to deal with that stuff, and that's the issue, right? That is the issue. But I'm glad to read that comment, man, because dog, like these women just try to push false narratives and men have to be the main ones, just like court system. These women can sit over here and make a false accusation. It is then up to us to prove that we didn't do that. Even if we don't even know the damn chick, we still got to go out of our way to prove. All you got to do, even if you simply say, man, bro, I was at home. They're still going to do everything they can to try to make you feel bad about a situation that you had nothing to do with. But all right, man, shout out to the guy in the comments, man, and shout out to the brother that's on the panel, because these women are just But guys, look, let me use favor, let me a like, let me a comment, subscribe to the channel. Till the next one.